excited. And speaking of the future, you know, this was a big fight that people were talking about. Conor was going to make his boxing return against Manny Pacquiao. It kind of was confirmed, kind of not, by Manny Pacquiao's camp. It's weird.
It's a weird situation.
It's a very weird situation. You don't know if it's true or not because now Dana White's coming out. We're kind of mixing things in, but Dana White's coming out saying that you know, Conor is now offered against Dustin Poirier, official UFC fight, and we heard the news about Conor doing a Dustin Poirier charity event. Yep. Let's talk about that.
Okay,
the charity event. Down. That's not happening.
Well, obviously it's not. They're under UFC contract, so there's no way that two elite UFC fighters are going to be able to fight for a charity. That's just not going to happen. But what I will tell you is it's good publicity. It's a good stunt to pull off in order to get this job to get this contract in the works. Because Dana wants Dustin Poirier to fight. Maybe he doesn't want to pay him with Tony Ferguson, but he'll definitely pay him with Conor McGregor.
Oh, he has to. And if you don't get paid a Conor fight, you're fucked. I don't know what Cowboys camp was really thinking, but what did he make?
250,000.
That's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. That was a slap in the face. That was a spitball in the fucking face of Cowboy. So if that's what Dustin's going to accept, I don't know.
Dustin said $1 million. Dustin wants $1 million when he fights. He said 7 figures. So.
That's easy. That's easy. Give him $1 million fucking dollars. What? You're not going to give him $1 million for that fight?
He's an elite lightweight.
And he deserves it.
Yeah.
He deserves 2. He deserves 10. Let's be real. Conor deserves probably 30 or 40 for how much fucking money he's making. Like, we're getting there. Yeah, we're getting there. The sports are growing. So,
anyway, Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier. What do you think about this? Like, is this the fight that you wanted to see for Conor?
Yes.
I would have to agree with you too. And since we're on the topic of Conor, like I think we both agree, Dustin Poirier, I love it. It's an elite fight. It's not this Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Yes. It's not this Diego Sanchez bullshit.
Oh my God.
So let's talk about this because we have been hypercritical of Conor McGregor on this podcast multiple times. We aren't just going to jump on because, it'll get views. Oh, we love Conor. We're not Conor dick riders. We're just not. Yeah. But the messages came out. And I gotta say, I'm starting, and I don't always agree with Conor. I think he does a lot of stupid shit, just like John Jones, where Conor irritates me a lot of times. But man, I think Conor kind of made a case for him wanting to fight 3 times this year. I think he was trying before this whole Rona situation, and then they're saying, no, we got to have gate. We got to have a gate because you're the biggest star in the UFC. I'm starting to actually see Conor's side of things. And I'm kind of starting to backtrack a little bit. It doesn't mean I think Conor's completely in the right, but I'm starting to backtrack a little bit. And I'm starting to realize, okay, maybe Conor was looking for fights. I mean, he's got the text messages to prove it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was definitely trying. I mean, but it's like Diego. Like, really?
Well, I think he was just doing that just to say, hey, look, I am looking for a fight. It doesn't matter who it is. Let's just get a sign.
But it's like you could have said, if you would have said any other name, it wouldn't be a big deal. But because it's Diego Sanchez.
Right. There's not a lot of credibility behind that call out. And it does get tiresome when all Conor does is just call people out. And you're like, okay, that fight's never going to happen. Okay, that fight's never going to happen. I literally saw the exchange between Dustin Poirier and Conor, and I was like, okay, that's not going to happen. Yeah. Like, it's starting to get like it becomes second nature in my brain, man, where I'm just like, hey, this fight's not going to happen. Moving on. All right, moving on with my day.
Yeah, with anything with Conor.
Anything with Conor.
It's
and just so unreliable.
I thought that Pacquiao fight was really going to happen because, I mean, just last week, Dana was saying we got big plans with Conor for the spring or fall next year.
But, I mean, do we really want to see Conor McGregor in a boxing ring or do we want to see him in an octagon?
If he gets viciously KO'd by Pacquiao, I mean, I kind of want to see that.
But I don't like... I get what you're coming from because, again, we're not the biggest Conor fans, but he's great for the sport and he's a phenomenal mixed martial artist. Like, that is where we want him to be, is in the octagon. If Conor McGregor is going to come back and fight, I don't want to see it in a boxing ring. I want to see it in an octagon because that's where he shines. That's his bread and butter. I don't want to see the man box. He's not a boxer. He's a mixed martial artist, man. So, again, if Conor's going to fight, Give me an octagon. Give me Dustin Poirier. I think that's a great matchup. Let's get this fight done. If we're going to get it done, let's get it freaking done, man.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't get the Tony Ferguson fight done. We're so fucking depressed over that shit.
Yeah, that would have been a great fight.
I mean, dude, it's like you just got to get this done. If this fight isn't done, I don't see Dustin Poirier fighting. Like, who's he going to fight?
No.
I mean, if he didn't do the Tony fight and you're not going to do the Conor fight, it's like now you're just fucked.
Well, you're starting to pull at straws.
Yeah.
And then eventually you're just going to have to retire because you're never going to find a fight. And you're not going to get paid that 7 figures that you're asking for. If you're not willing to negotiate and budge. Yeah. Which he does deserve. But again, we don't know the financials of the UFC necessarily. And say what you will, but gate does affect what the fighters make.
Yes, and that's probably why Conor hasn't fighting.
Exactly.
I mean, let's be real. That's exactly why.
Because how are you going to pay Conor $50 million when you're not making $30 million or $50 million in the gate, you know? Exactly. Depending on whatever it is. So.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Before we really move on to our next subject, you know, I mean, Dana was saying in these press conferences about these release messages and shit, it's like, you just don't do that. That's kind of bro code, and you don't break that. What's your take on that? Like, is this bro code or is this just business?
Here's the thing. I don't think it's ever appropriate, and this is why I've always been very careful with like text messages or messaging and any of that stuff, because like, it's so inappropriate to me. That's like you and I having a conversation and then you going out and telling the whole world when I'm like, hey man, it's just between you and I.
Yeah.
Like, this is business. Let's just talk about it here. And then, you know, publicly we can say something.
Yeah, it's not cool.
But with it's not something that's professional to do. And I'm actually on Dana's side with this. It's just like, hey, look, this is business. We're talking business. If you're going to go out and post everything, then guess what, motherfucker? Fly your private jet over here and have a conversation with me face to face. So you're not going to be doing this shit anymore. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't want to do business with you.
Yeah, he's never going to DM again. I mean, that never. Like, their communication must just be fucked now.
Yeah, it's completely stopped.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to text him anymore after that.
You got Lorenzo sending him messages now. I mean, fuck, I don't know.
Just not even anything to do with the sport. Like, got to bring him in just because how fucked this relationship is. I wouldn't be surprised.
I know.
Honestly.